Hey everybody, this is Press Speak of the Press Speak podcast. Just got through listening to BMT stream and seeing him going back and forth with Coach Malik, which is not really surprising. Um, when you criticize the other gender, the people who are defending that gender are going to come up there and criticize, overtalk, be so highly defensive that it's like, what's the point of having this conversation? You know, and and they have their supporters. If you talk about black women, you have black men who come in there and say you can't talk about these women. It's your fault they like this. Or if you talk about um, black black men. No, you can't talk about black men. It's black women. They're the reason they like this. And then the conversation get derailed, and then all of a sudden now it's, well, black men did this, well, black women did this, then that yada 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 yada. So it just goes to show you that the YouTube gender war is raging on, and the ones that don't need to be talking are always on the forefront to talk about these things. You can't have a criticism of black women without somebody saying, well, black men did this to cause them to do this, and black men, well, black women did this to cause these black men. It's like, ugh. It's like I'm on the opinion that a lot of these people cannot have that conversation, this gender discussion. We really can't have that conversation. I think it would benefit us that the men, whatever issues that are detrimental to men, should be discussed with men, and things that are detrimental to black women should be discussed with black women. And the only people who should interact and discuss these things are the ones that show to be very neutral. They may have criticisms, but they're neutral and willing to hear both sides and not be so defensive, not be argumentative, and not have an agenda. That's the only ones that should be. And there's very few of us that can have that conversation. Very, very few. Because they have their bias. I mean, let's just put it on the table. They're very biased. They and they have the battery in the back of their fans. These fanboys and fangirls who just want to see wars start out. They want to see their favorite content creators going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They don't want no peace. Because let's be honest, peace can be boring. We like drama. Black people like drama. They like seeing drama because it shows that their life ain't as bad. You've seen how we are in real life at times with each other. We rag on each other. We'll diss each other, clown each other. We do that in real life. What do you think we're doing in these YouTube streets? We're going to do the same thing, except here it's unstrained. I mean, it's how we say it. You can't get away with that all the time in real life because somebody might take it the wrong way, and then next thing you know, you're getting hit. You know, here nobody can touch you, so you can talk shit about dudes, talk shit about females, and nobody's gonna really touch you. Yeah, they may argue, scream at you, cuss you out, and all kinds of stuff, but they can't really touch you. So you can hide behind the avatar and just say all crazy stuff, and nobody's gonna touch you. And then on top of that, you'll have supporters that will support you. You know, when Cindy said her stuff, there were black women and black men who was supportive of her saying that. When you had the Space Ghost perp said here's what he said. You had black men and black women supporting that. You had Glenn and Cameron talking about getting with your underage girls. You had black men and black women supporting that. When you have black women saying we want to divest and f these niggas, you have black men and black women supporting that. And so it's like the war is never ending because you have too many people who are invested in the war. There's too much money to be made in dissing black men and praising black men. There's too much money to be made in dissing black women and praising black women and not showing them their faults or showing them their faults to an absurd degree. There's no money to be made in being balanced. There's no money to be made in uh, staying neutral. My thing is, I criticize both sides and have no bones about it. I can criticize men one day, criticize women the other day. Matter of fact, my podcast last night, you should check it out. The Honest Truth versus B1, Black Mothers and Black Male Dependency. It's getting a lot of views. Cheap plug, I know. But the point of it is, I was criticizing everybody. And people pick out certain things. You know, people had something to say about my critiques of black mothers, which I stand on. I don't change my view on that. People had critiques of black male dependency. Not that many, but they had critique of that. I stand on my word for that. People had issues with how I was depicting the honest truth versus the B1 war. They had critiques on that, you know, but that's what it is. But I stand on what I say. I don't flip flop, and but a lot of people will for that pay or for the love of a particular uh, content creator, which also add into this gender war because everybody's flipping flopping and nobody stay true to their word. Then they battling each other, and you know it's crazy, and then they battle each other and then blame the other side. The women battling the women, but then they turn around, well, it's the men's fault. Like, what? The men ain't even there. The men are battling each other and they like, well, it's the women's fault. Like, what? The women ain't even there. What we talking about here? So it's like this gender war is still going. And meanwhile, the other races are looking at us and like, man, these dumb fucks are just destroying each other. Let me get in on the fun. That's what they're doing, man. And it's like, wow, this is what we are now. And like I told the women last night, there is no hope. Some of these dudes do not care. And with the women, same thing. They don't care. And I know, well, you didn't say that last night. I said, well, what was the topic? I'm like, I only go with what the topic is. If we're discussing certain topics, I'm going to discuss limit what I'm saying to that particular topic. Because again, I gotta stay on topic. Because if I keep going, we go, well, you didn't say this. Okay, would that been on topic or I'm going off topic? You know, it's like I think people just look for wars, and they want to. They are so in their hatred of the other gender. They so hatred of black men. They so much hatred of black women, and that anybody who is either critical of the gender or in praise of the other gender, they want to go fight them. Oh, you a simp. Oh, you a pick me. Oh, you're a coon. Oh, you this, you that. I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, all right. I'll be all that then. Great. Okay. I'll be the coon. I'll be the fuck boy. I'll be the GAY. I'll be all that, but I'm not going to back off my points. So yeah, this gender war thing is getting ridiculous, and nobody wants to hold themselves accountable for their actions. Because really, again, like I said about the black mothers, like I said about the black men who are dependent, I don't blame other people for your own actions. You make your own decisions in life. There's nobody who is does not escape the consequences of their actions. Nobody. And then again, you don't get to blame other people for your actions. You only have your own choices in life. And however you choose to make them, it's on you. And I don't sway from that. I don't sway on self accountability. I never sway from that because again, now I may make explanation for what people do, but that doesn't take away their accountability for their own actions. But as long as we have people on here who don't want to take accountability for their own actions and are so on their own gender and get so defensive because somebody is criticizing their gender, not demonizing them, not insulting them, not disrespecting them, but just criticism. They'll fight tooth and nail, and then they go into their own camps and make video after video about these black men ain't this, these black women ain't this, and then you just be like, well that was pointless. Like and so at this point, like I said, if black men have issues with black women, as long as they're not demonizing them, insulting them, they should have their own space for that. Black women should have their own space for the issues they have with black men and how they're going to fix it on their own. I don't think we need to be coming together. A lot of these people don't need to come together and talk because all it's going to be is just a big old argument. And you see it every time. You've seen it today. I've seen it before on the panels. I just think the best option right now is for black men and black women to be separate, and only the ones who could be neutral, the ones who's willing to listen to both sides, should be the only ones talking when these genders mix. Now you have to look at yourself. Are you that person? Can you go over there, go into a neutral space? I'm gonna say neutral space. And can you talk about these issues without being defensive, without being accusatory, without being just blame the other side? Can you do that? Now, if you can, great. Then you should probably be one of the people that can when we have these discussions together. If you can't control your emotions, you get defensive because maybe they hitting way too close to home for you. Maybe you should bow out. is no it's no shame in not going on a panel because you know how you are. It's no shame in not going to a channel because you know how you get. There's certain channels I visit. They are anti-black male, and I listen to it for a little bit, but I don't comment. Why? Because I know how I am, and I know all it's going to do is pointless and start a war. There's some people's tabs I see. When it's something that is gender neutral, I comment. If it's something that is specifically against black men, I don't comment. I just leave it, let it be. Because there's no point in trying to convince someone whose mind is already set against a particular gender. There's no point in having that conversation. The best you could do, like Jay Shai said earlier, you just gotta leave them alone. You know? But that's the thing we're gonna have to do as black people. There's just some people who don't care. And they not only do they not care, they will use it to make money off of people's pain. They'll use it, make money off of people's pain, and just go to war with people for no reason. Those people we got to leave alone and let them figure it out on their own. And the ones who can be balanced, the ones that can be neutral, the ones that can at least listen to other sides without getting defensive or accusatory and all that, well, let them talk. Let them have those discussions. There are people who can. I see them. And we have them talk and let's go from there. Because the way we're going right now, this ain't working. It's too many people who have a vested interest in keeping this gender war going between black men and black women. So, with that, I'm going to jump off. Brother Speak is out. Peace.